What if I told you that today we're going to be trying a beer from a brewery that is that world renowned and that iconic that there's a whole church dedicated to them? Hello and welcome to another video on JD's Booze Reviews. Today we are trying Noa Export, a 6% stout from Omnipollo. They are a brewery that is based in nearish to Stockholm in Sweden. When I said that they've got a church dedicated to them, that church is in fact their brewery. It is an old deconsecrated church that they have bought out, and that is now their brewery. I've been to it before, and if I can find videos from when I went, I will be overlaying them. But basically, where the pews would be in the church, that is where all their brew kit is. The upper level is the bar, and you basically overlook into the brew kit. It's a really unique brewery that one of the most unique ones I've been to, and they produce cracking beer from it. So let's get this one poured and let's see how it tastes. So this is actually Noa Pecan Mud Export Stout. I don't know the full name. Really, on the can, the text is a little bit all over the place. But yeah, Noa's a series of stouts that they do quite a lot of. They do different variants. They do high percentages, low percentages, I believe. So it's just another variant of that, I guess. But yeah, that is, this is going to be sort of like a pecan mud pie, which is not really something that we get that much in the UK. But it's going to be chocolatey and nutty, hopefully. And that is exactly what I get on the smell. That is chocolatey. I'm getting sort of roasted hazelnuts. Well, pecans probably. Don't really get pecans in the UK, do we either? That's another thing. So, yeah, I've never really had a pecan. Or a pecan, if you're American. But that just smells very nutty, peanut-like. And a heap ton of chocolate. Yeah, that is pretty much the headliner. Really good with their flavours, Omnipollo. So yeah, smelling that, I am not surprised. That is exactly what I was going to expect. Oh, such a good smell. Let's see if the taste is any better, or just as good. Yeah, that is rich, chocolatey, hint of coffee. The nuttiness isn't there straight away, it's there more on the aftertaste. Very strong in flavour. Does taste quite boozy, to be fair. A really good mouthfeel. Thick, luxurious mouth coating. Literally like drinking chocolate milk. There's quite a nice hint of coffee on the aftertaste as well. A nice roasted coffee. Sweet as anything. Kind of what I said in the previous video, I think. That kind of sweetness, to my mind, generates a thought that it's a higher percentage, because higher percentage beers tend to have more sugar in them, to have more sugar to ferment, to then turn into more alcohol to give a higher percentage. So it's always going to have more residual sweetness. This has a lot of sweetness. and makes me feel like I'm drinking not just a 6% stout, which, you know, it's always good in my mind when a beer is punching above its weight, really. Sometimes, I mean, it's a known fact, it's very, very well known that higher percentage beers do better in sort of ratings and perception of beer drinkers. And being able to brew a not quite crazy 8, 9, 10% of beer, but have one that almost tastes like it. I mean, it's definitely not as boozy and as sweet as a really high percent beer, but it does a pretty good job and probably a hell of a lot cheaper. Although, knowing Omnipollo, they will probably be buying some pretty bougie ingredients for this, like high-end coffee and that kind of stuff. High-end pecans, you know. It would not surprise me if they've splashed out on this, but maybe not. Maybe it's just testament to how good they are that it makes it taste luxurious on a relatively modest budget. But yeah, that is as pastry stout or as dessert stout as one of these beers would get. That is just sweet and desserty and chocolatey and nutty, and it's almost like for a UK reference, it's almost like a Snickers bar, because it's got sort of a caramelly essence to it as well. So it's very much like caramel, nuts, chocolate, which, yeah, is sort of sitting in more sort of in the UK Snickers sort of vibes. So that's what it really tastes like to me. But I do get the pecan mud pie, despite not having the cultural reference of that. Yeah, this beer is, really, really nice. Could get a bit too much after a large amount. I'm glad they only do it in the sort of small 330ml cans. Maybe a 500ml can might be a bit too much of a overwhelming sense to the palate. I'm getting near to the bottom and I'm starting to feel, almost as if I had a chocolate milk glass. I'd start to feel a little bit, I'm not saying I'm feeling sicky, but starting to get a bit chocolated out towards the end, but that is the nature of the beast. But yeah, that is a beautiful beer and one I can definitely worship. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to check out the next video whenever it drops. Feel free to drop a comment down below as well and let me know what you thought of this beer and if you've had it before or if you want to try it. And also if you've been to the Omnipollo brewery, it's definitely one I recommend checking out. But all in all, I think we're done here. So all I can say is cheers.